Hey YouTube, it's Emma Blue Eyes 10 here with my thoughts on the next ban list for September 1st, 2012. And these are just going to be my thoughts, my opinions, my views basically on what should be hit, what might be hit, and things like that anyway. I'm probably just going to do what I normally do in my ban list videos. I start with like the top decks that are doing really well, what cards should be hit, and then I move on to the ban list, have a look at it, see what cards that are on there now that could either come off, come on, or get moved about, and I'll probably talk about personally what I would like to see come off and on the ban list and that as well. So I do hope you guys enjoy. Okie dokie. Right, only 1 month to go really till the next ban list. So what's been dominating the format? Well, there was 3 decks at first. There was Insectors, Wind-Ups, and Dino Rabbit, and then of course Chaos Dragons into the fray, so they're the 4 main top decks at the moment. There's also 6 Samurai and Dark Royal are still doing pretty good as well. They're not as fast as the Chaos Dragons and everything, but they're still pretty good and they're still pretty playable and everything, so yeah. But anyway, I think I'll start off with the decks I've played off against the most, and that would be Insector and Chaos Dragons. Right, Insectors, as you know, they equip themselves with other Insector cards and then use their effects to either gain attack points, blow up the field, do a lot of searching and everything. The one card that I think should definitely be limited is Hornet, Insector Hornet, mainly because, well, played in 3s, it can do a lot of damage, and even if you've just got one equipped on the field, it can potentially lead up to a +4 for the player who's controlling the Hornet, and it's just far too good. It's just multiple destruction really easily, and of course with the Insector Dragonfly and the Centipede and the Ladybug and everything, it's just very easily reusable no matter how many times it gets sent to the graveyard and everything, so yeah. Insector Dragonfly I think should be semied, if you ask me, in all honesty, because I mean it's good and it's the main card that most of the players use to get out Hornet, but there's also rumours that Centipede could be hit because it's just as good as Dragonfly, so but Konami might surprise us really, it could limit all 3 of them or something, but I think that would cripple the deck, so I would think Hornet should go down to 1 because it's pretty much searchable from the graveyard or the deck via Dragonfly and Centipede and that. And Dragonfly and Centipede, if possible, maybe down to 2. Other cards like Ladybug and Gigamantis and all that, I don't think they'll get hit because they're not as, even though they do attack boosts and level boosts and everything, they don't actually do any real damage like to the other players like Hornet does. So I think Hornet should definitely go down to 1, Dragonfly to 2, maybe 1 depending, and Centipede probably semied and everything as well. Next with Chaos Dragons, that is obviously a very deadly deck nowadays. Before, dragons never even got to tier 1 at all, but now with the combo of mainly Light Pulsar Dragon with the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, it's quite possible that Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon might get hit by the ban list for the very first time. Possibly either semied or limited to slow down the deck speed. A lot of people are saying it could possibly be limited because it is actually the card that starts off most of these combos, and I can see that happening, but it could just be semied because a lot of people do play 3 Red Eyes Darkness Metal, some play 2 because they're more comfortable with it. It's player preference again, but if it gets limited it would severely slow down the deck, definitely. So I think semied is okay, it would still be quick, not as deadly, but limited would definitely slow the deck down quite a bit. There's also a possibility that Light Pulsar could be hit since it's the main back card alongside Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon to get this combo started. Sending, as soon as it's sent to the graveyard, you can resurrect a dark level 5 or higher dragon, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and then resummon it and resummon a Light Pulsar, so you've got that infinite loop of summoning out your monsters and all that going. So Light Pulsar could be hit again because again it's the backbone of the Chaos Dragon deck, so again it could be semied, it could be limited, I don't know, but if both cards are limited I'd be very surprised because that would severely cripple the deck, I would think, really. Dark Flare Dragon, I don't think, some players do play it, but it doesn't see as much play. There's a possibility Wyvern could be hit as well, but again, I'm not too sure about that. I've only had a few experiences with Chaos Dragon. Because when Wyvern's banished, it adds a remove from play Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon back to your hand if you've done it with Dark Flare and everything. So yeah, so more than likely those kind of cards are going to be hit in those two decks that I have gone up against. With wind-ups and Dino Rabbit, I have to admit I haven't played against them a lot. But rumour is that because Evolzer Lagia and Evolzer Dolka have been reprinted in the tins, it's possible that Dino Rabbit is going to get hit. And it's kind of funny how a lot of people assumed that deck to be dead after the new priority rule came into effect, or the fast effects rule came into effect, really. But Dino Rabbit's still pretty dangerous. So, I mean, the actual main backbone of the deck, Rescue Rabbit itself, it could be semied, which would slow down the deck enough, I would think. It could be like Rescue Cat, it could be limited, or it could even go straight to the ban, I have no idea. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, I think semied would slow the deck down enough, but limited might be better, don't know yet. The same with the Evolzer Lagia and Evolzer Dolka, they could possibly be hit, again, because it seems weird. The Konami seems to have a bit of a trend here where if they reprint something, it could possibly be hit by the ban list, but in some cases it's true, some cases it's not really. So yeah, the possibility those three cards of Dino Rabbit could possibly be hit, as I said, but I think mainly those would probably be semied in all honesty, but if they're limited then yeah, it would severely cripple the deck, that's all I could say. Wind-ups, I've only dueled them once or twice, so I can't really say very much, but I would definitely agree that Hunter would have to be either, could possibly be banned or just limited, which is kind of funny. It'd be very strange if it was limited, because a lot of wind-up players normally just use one, and one's all you need, and as far as I'm aware it's quite searchable from the hand, deck or graveyard, so so if you've got the right cards for the infinite wind-up loop, and you've got Hunter somewhere, either in the graveyard, in your hand, on your field, it's going to get out one way or another to begin the combo, destroy your hand, leave you with nothing basically. So, as I said, it would be very strange if it was limited, but a lot of people are calling for it to be banned, and it could possibly be banned because that's the main card that causes all the problems with the wind-up loop. There's also possibilities that the other cards that help out with the wind-up loop, such as Magician and Wind-Up Rat and Shark, could possibly be semied or limited. Again, I don't have much experience to get this, so I can't really say for definite, but semied or limited for those cards possibly to slow down the deck so it's not as crippling, to say the least. Other cards now, Six Samurai. I don't think Six Samurais are going to get hit again. There's a possibility one or two of their cards might come back, I'm not sure. But they're not as fast as obviously the four decks I've just talked about. And Dark Worlds, a lot of people are calling for some Dark World cards to get hit because they've never been hit by the ban list. I've heard they're a really good deck. I've only dueled them once or twice, so I can't give anything really definite about what to be hit or anything, but it's a possibility deck that could do very well next format if the top four decks do happen to get severely crippled by the ban list. So I'm not too sure, but again, I think the top cards that that start the combos off, such as the Gates of the Dark World, Grapha, and I think it's Snow. I'm not too sure, could be wrong, but just let me know if I'm wrong on that. They could possibly be semied to slow the deck down, or more than likely semied, because as I said, Dark Worlds and Six Samurai are tier 2 or lower, I believe. I can't remember exactly what tier they're at. I'm pretty sure they're tier 2 though, so they're not going to be as fast as the four decks that have been very fast this format, but they've got a potential to be good next format depending on how the ban list goes. So again, I can't really say anything for definite because I haven't had very much experience. I've only ever dueled them twice, but you never know. As I said, Konami will probably surprise us with the ban list. Right, since that's that little bit out of the way, those decks are now out of the way, just going to go into the Forbidden List, you know, tell you guys what I think might happen or everything, just basically from experience and all that, so I hope you enjoy. Anyway, I'll come off. Right. Right, again, if I possibly what I would like to see limited to come off the Forbidden List. I would love to see limited Dark Magician of Chaos, because it's a pretty cool card, but a lot of people have considered it slow in today's format, and it's had a reprint in the battle pack. Which, as I said, there's a bit of a trend with Konami where when it releases old cards, not all the time, it's not true all the time, but sometimes with the ban list they come back. For example, when Blacklist Soldier was re-released, everybody was like, oh, he's not going to come off the ban list, and he did. And as far as I'm aware, Dark Magician of Chaos got a reprint in the battle pack, so there's a possibility it could be limited again, which would be nice support for spellcaster decks. But of course, we as I said, with Konami, you never know what's going to happen. Okay. I think Glow Bob, Fishboard Blaster, and everything could possibly just stay on the ban list, or they might even come off the ban list because everybody focuses on Exceeds now and not Synchros. Magician of Faith, again, I think that could possibly come off the ban list because it's slow. It's a flip effect monster, but then again, adding any spell cards you want back to your hand. You know, if you combine it with some of the cards that are used in the Chaos deck, such as Future Fusion or Wind Up Factory, what else? Some of the Insector cards and all that, I think that would probably be a bit of a silly idea, in all honesty, but oh well. I would love to see Trishula come back off the ban list, but unfortunately it's just far too good. You know, removing from play 3 cards for no cost and synchroing into a level 9, it's not that difficult in all honesty. Goyo Guardian I think will probably stay banned. It could come back, but I highly doubt it. I mean, a level 6 28 attack monster that steals your opponent's monsters for no cost, nah, highly doubt it. Now here's an interesting one. Butterfly Dagger Elma might become limited or something, because a lot of people say that, you know, it's an equipped card, it only does 300 attack, but you know, and people don't play equipped cards except for the Insectors nowadays, but the thing is, it's still pretty deadly with certain combos. Like the combo that I've heard of with the Butterfly Dagger Elma was Gear for the Iron Knight, Magical Library, and this card. You know, you just equip it onto Gear Free, destroys it, it comes back to your hand, you get a counter on your Magical Library, and then after you've got 3 you can draw cards and do an infinite loop that way. So some of the cards, you know, could come back possibly, but there's still those old combos which are still deadly. I mean, they're not as quick as now as they used to be, but they're still pretty deadly if they're played right. Giant Trunade. There's been a couple of people saying this could come back if Heavy Storm gets banned, but it's I don't know. I don't know. The thing is that there's only a few cards that can actually get around Giant Trunade, so it was banned for a reason, that's why. It'd be funny if Pot of Greed came back. I would love to see that back. Temple of the Kings was an emergency ban, of course. Crush Card. I think Crush Card could possibly... I would like to see Crush Card come back because I do like that card, but I don't personally use it, mind you, but there's so many ways to counter it, but but unfortunately with the Tour Guide and Sangang combo, yeah, I don't think it will be coming back anytime soon. Again, I don't think there's anything. Trap Does Shoot. I think that'll probably stay banned because it was just a nasty, nasty little card. Right, we're on to limited cards now. A Blacklister Soldier will probably stay limited and not go back on the ban list. It could potentially be a yo-yo card, but I highly doubt it because obviously of the new priority ruling, you know, Blacklister Soldier won't get its effect if it gets Veilered or Bottomless or something like that. Gale the Whirlwind and Kalute the Moonshadow, the Blackwing cards. Because people don't play Synchros anymore, they could possibly be semied, and Blackwings haven't seen much play, but I could be wrong about that. I heard they're still played over in Japan quite a bit. but I haven't seen any Blackwing decks over here in all honesty, so yeah. So they possibly could go semied, or one or the other could go semied, I don't know. I mean, Gale's still a nasty little card if you ask me, so Kaluk could possibly go, but I don't know. Dandelion could possibly stay limited, I think. But it could possibly go up to semied, since again nobody plays many synchros anymore in all honesty, and with tokens you can't exceed with tokens, so there's a possibility that could come back to 2. Dark Arm Dragon I think will stay limited definitely, because it's used a lot in the Chaos Dragons and in sectors and everything, so it's just far too good, so I think that will definitely stay. Debris Dragon could possibly become semied, or it could even come off the ban list entirely, just because, you know, a lot of people are using Exceeds now. They're not using synchros very much. I mean, the only synchros I know that people are using are mainly Brionac to bounce cards, maybe a Catastor if they have it, and maybe 1 or 2 other synchros, but it all depends on player preference really. But those are the two synchros I've seen played really, so yeah. Honest, definitely stay at 1, because, well, I mean, even though it's not used in a lot of light decks and everything, it's still a deadly little card, a game ender really, in all honesty. Nullifier Blossom I think will stay limited as well, because even though plants are not played anymore, but it could possibly go up to 2, but that would make the plant deck come back, I think. Neospatian Granmal can stay at 1. I hate that card. You'll see why in the tournament videos. Plague Spreader Zombie could possibly go semied again, just because nobody uses synchros anymore, but don't know. Sangan, there's a lot of calling for Sangan again to be banned because of its tour guide ability, because of its playability with tour guide and everything. But the thing is, it would mean we would lose a good search card for many decks, whether you're fun or meta. So Konami would have to give something back, or allow other search cards to go up a little bit, just to allow us to have a general search card. If it gets banned, it gets banned, you know, but you just don't know. As I said, it's mainly playable with Tour Bus and Tour Guide, and it's just too easy to use. TG Striker and Agent of Mystery Earth could possibly again go semied or something, because I've not seen any of those decks that have any play at all. And the fairy deck and the TG deck, or the variants of the TG decks, again are not as fast as the tier 1 decks that are playable in today's meta, so they possibly could go back. Brionac, Dragon of the Icefire. Now, I actually like this card. It's a pity it's not a dragon, because then it would be far too abusable with Chaos Dragons, in all honesty. But it's one of the few synchros that are still played in general, and it's still a very good card. It could possibly be banned, just because of it's still pretty good and everything. Most decks use most decks use it, because it's a level 6. It bounces everything back to the hand. You know, it's just the baby of Trisha. Legendary 6 Samurai Shien was limited for a reason, and I hope it stays limited. Yeah. Formula Synchron TJ Hyper Librarian I think should stay, possibly could go semied, but then it would mean shooting Quasar decks would be troublesome. Allure of Darkness and Black Whirlwind, and that should definitely stay limited. Book of Moon could possibly stay limited, but it could go semied, you know, because of the new Fast Effects rule. Don't know. Charger Light Brigade limited, yeah, definitely, I understand why. Dark Hole possibly will stay limited, mainly because of obviously of all the swarms and everything, just to give us an ability to get over the swarms. But it could be a yo-yo card, it could get banned. Now here's 2 cards I want to talk about that are really interesting, is Foolish Burial and Future Fusion. Now Future Fusion is a deadly card mainly in the Chaos decks. Now I've used Future Fusion. I know how deadly it is, especially if you get it on your first turn. You can get many combos out for that card. A lot of people are calling for that to be banned. Now I can understand if it does get banned, because it starts off many combos in the Chaos Dragon deck. It can also start very many combos in the Elemental Hero decks, if it's used in the Elemental Hero decks. A lot of people said 5 God Dragons should be banned, but there's no point because that's only used in one deck. Future Fusion can be used in 2 or 3 decks that are potentially very dangerous and very deadly. And since it's the card that actually starts the combos, it's possible it could be banned. I mean, Chaos Dragons would be severely crippled with Future Fusion banned. You know, you can send your 3 Red Ice Darkness Metal and 2 Light Pulsars to the grave and boom, you've got the combo loop starting. Or you can send your Elemental Heroes to the grave and play Miracle Fusion and everything, and boom, there you go. You've got 3 or 4 Elemental Heroes out in one turn. Yeah, so, but if they ban Future Fusion, they would have to get, I feel they should at least give us 2 Foolish Burial in return to allow us to send stuff to the grave, to make up for it, in all honesty. Because 1 Foolish Burial is okay alongside Future Fusion or any other cards that could potentially send stuff to the graveyard. But Foolish Burial could possibly go up to 2, but then again, you know, 2 Foolish Burial could still be enough to set off a combo, you know, send Insectors to the grave to start equipping, or start sending a Light Pulsar and maybe 1 Red Ice Darkness Metal to get the grave to start combos and all that. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with those 2 cards. I'm really interested to see what happens with those 2 cards, but we don't know yet. Heavy Storm could possibly be a yo-yo card. It could possibly be banned again, but nobody knows for certain, unfortunately, because it's still a pretty damn good card. Limiter Removal might go semied, but it's like honest, it can end games, even though machines aren't played as much anymore. But apparently there's a new archetype coming out in the next pack. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a machines, and apparently it works very well with gadgets, so it could potentially see some play, but we don't know yet. Monster Born, more than likely a yo-yo card, because in this format, being able to steal any of your opponent's combo monsters and use them against them is very good. I mean, I'm up for grabbing a Red Ice Darkness Metal if I need to use it, but I wouldn't actually personally use it myself. And the one thing I hate about Monster Born is when people take my Blue Eyes. I really hate that. But I like it. It's a classic card. It could potentially stay, it could potentially go, we don't know. Pot of Avarice I think should definitely stay at 1, just because it's still pretty good, especially with things like Chaos Dragons and Insectors and Wind-Up. So if you need to get things back in the deck to recycle, far too good. What else? Scapegoat, no. Reinforcements in the Army definitely is going to stay limited. Mirror Force, definitely stay limited. Even though it's not seen much play in some decks, it's still a pretty good damn card, sorry. Return from a Different Dimension, I think, is definitely going to stay limited. Solemn Judgment, definitely stay limited. Transmigration Prophecy, possibly stay limited, or could even be semied. But then again, it's sort of like that'd be like, because Transmigration Prophecy, I'm surprised it's not seen a lot of play, because it's very good at sending stuff back to the deck, but whether it's your opponent cards or your own. But then again, a lot of these top tier decks can just search out their stuff from the deck as well as the graveyard. Okay, we're on to semi cards now. Archlord Christia will probably more than likely stay semied, because that card is a pain in the ass. If fairies, especially if Agent Earth comes back or gets something, you know, that would be a pain in the neck. Card Trooper semied, yeah, no, nothing there. Luminar Light Swarm Summoner, yeah, she definitely has to stay limited, because 3, well, it's kind of funny, I've not seen, Light Swarms haven't seen very much play this format from what I've heard, but I don't think 3 Lumina really would make any difference. I could be wrong, but don't know. Marshmallow could potentially be unlimited, but because it doesn't see much play except for burn decks or chain burn or something, but don't know. Reborn Tengu is possibly just going to stay limited, semi-limited, sorry, because it's not seeing much play now, but it's still a very good card, very deadly card, so yeah. Summon a Monk probably is more than likely stay semied as well. Trigoria stays semied. Chain Strike semied, fair enough. Shen Smoke Signal could possibly go limited, since 6 Sam are still pretty good again, but don't know, it probably will stay semied, just to give enough speed to the 6 Samurais without actually making them too powerful. Bottomless Trap Hole I think should definitely stay semied or even go limited, because it is a pain in the neck card, and you know, playing it at the right time you can pretty much cripple your opponent. Torrential Tribute and Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning should definitely stay limited, stay semi-limited, sorry, or even limited, because it's just too good. But you know, 2,000 life points isn't that much really. Torrential Tribute could possibly go back to limited, but then again, to even out the swarming abilities and that, it could stay at 2, or in the worst case scenario, if Dark Hole gets banned, this could potentially go up to 3. Just to allow us an ability just to get around swarming and all that, which is quite a scary thought in all honesty. An Ultimate Offering, semi-limited, yeah, definitely. And if that new archetype with the machines and gadgets I was speaking about, if they possibly become a real problem or real deadly, then that could possibly get limited in next year's ban list, which is going to be interesting to say the least. Right, no longer in the list, of course, is just Call of the Haunted. In all honesty, Call of the Haunted isn't as fast as Monster Reborn. Some people use 1 or 2 copies. I use 3 because 3 works really well for me, but most decks don't actually use it because, well, obviously there's 3 MST out. It could possibly get hit or something like that anyway. And that's the other thing about the 3 MST. Some people are saying because it's so chainable and everything, it could potentially go semied or limited again, and Night Beam will become the new MST because it's non-chainable, or it can't be countered. It's that normal spell card where it can destroy a spell or trap card but your opponent can't counter it or something. I can't quite remember what it's called. So having a Heavy Storm plus 3 MST plus 3 Night Beam at the moment, that's multiple destruction, so something's going to go in that category. Don't know what it might be. Heavy Storm could be banned, or MST could just be limited again, and you'd have to run 2 or 3 Night Beam, or even Night Beam itself could possibly be hit by the ban list. Don't know. And the other thing as well is about Elemental Hero decks. A lot of people, I mean, Elemental Hero's good. It's not as fast as some decks. It's still pretty good though. But a lot of people are calling for a Miracle Fusion at least to get hit by the ban list, because obviously Miracle Fusion can win games if you've got everything you need in the graveyard. So that could possibly be semied or limited. I don't know. I've only had a few experiences with hero decks, so I can't tell exactly. But if that new Dark Escuado Elemental Hero comes out, then obviously the fusion abilities are going to have to be hit, because then the heroes have got every attribute to fuse into. With Miracle Fusion and Super Poly and everything. Some people are saying Super Poly could possibly get hit by the ban list once the Squirtle comes out, because it's a dark attribute, and again there's all the attributes out available for heroes. Possibility? Don't know. Right, I don't think there's anything else I can say about the ban list really. I think that's everything I can think of at the moment. Now I just want to give you a personal view on the ban list about what I would personally love to see come off the ban list, and don't flame me for this, okay, just because I like dragons, and that should give you a clue. I would love to see Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the End come off the ban list, go limited. Now you're probably thinking, what the heck are you, stupid? That card is deadly, and yes, it is deadly, but Battleless Soldier is just as deadly, and Chaos Emperor Dragon, again, there's loads of stuff to counter it. You've got your Solemn Warnings, you've got Effect Veilers, you've got Forbidden Chalices, you've got Fiendish Change, you've got your skill drains and everything. Yeah, so it's counterable. You can counter it and everything, and I would love to see it come off the ban list, but it's just because of its ability, sending everything on the field and in the hand to the graveyard and burning your opponent for less. It's still a pretty damn dangerous game ender if you play it right. And in all honesty, if it does come off the ban list, God forbid, all I'd have to do is throw in a couple of Dark Dragons, put that in and say, hey look, I've got Chaos Dragons or Chaos Blue Eyes. Nah, not really. It's not me. I mean, I think it's a really cool card just because Kyber uses it, of course, and everything, and I think its effect is really cool and all that, but it probably will never come off the ban list just because if played right, it can end games and all that. But I would love to see it come off the ban list, even if it's only for one season, But then again, certain friends of mine probably hate that, because when they did fight against this card, they absolutely hated it. So, yeah, but that's my personal opinion. Is there anything else I'd like to talk about at all? Nope, I don't think there's anything else. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that. That was my thoughts and views on what could be next ban list or anything. Again, I hope you enjoyed that, and this is just, this was just a fun take on what might happen for next format. But anyway, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks time we'll actually get the official ban list. I'll probably do a thoughts video on the official ban list when it does come out. So till then guys, take care, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you later. Bye!